What's going on, everybody? Good evening. Yeah, let's hang out and shoot the shit. So it is 10:10 p.m. way past this father's bedtime. I'm here hanging out with you guys for probably 30 minutes to an hour, just shooting the shit. We all just let me see it. Let me turn on some music real quick. There we go. We all just saw the trailer, I'm assuming, right? Did you guys get your tickets? Are you safe? Are you safe? Did you get your tickets? I got my tickets like around 8:10 p.m. They went on sale, as they always do, a little before the trailer debuts, before we all thought they would. So yeah, guys, what do you think? What do you think? Oh shit, guys. Freeberg, Carter, Lovejoy, and Caleb, thank you guys so much for the super chats. Give me 1 second. Let me give my first little impressions. So yeah, Fandango keeps crashing, right? That's why I've never gone to third-party websites when I'm getting tickets. I always go directly to the theater's website because it's always the safest bet. Most people probably aren't going to the Cinemark website to get it, right? But my initial thoughts were kind of how I felt about all these trailers, is that these trailers for the sequel trilogy have been absolutely perfect at teasing. We still don't know what the hell's going on in this movie. I mean, that's the thing. We still have no idea what the hell's going on. We don't really have a story. We don't have an arc. We don't have much of anything other than some really pretty visuals, than some familiar faces, then the idea that we're kind of going to get a ragtag bunch of folks rising up and I don't know, answering the call of duty, answering the SOS, I suppose, that was sent out at the end of The Last Jedi. So you see Space Horses. There's a lot. There seems to be a lot of locations. A lot of people going to be involved. I hope we get, I always smaller micro level stories always appeals to me more than like massive macro level stories. I like stories with a magnifying glass on them, right? And I think this is going to give the illusion, this trailer gives the illusion of like some huge macro thing. While it is a huge macro thing, we're going to be hyper focused on our heroes, I believe. Anyway, God damn, I don't really know what to think. I just love how these trailers have been nothing but teasers as a whole throughout this entire sequel trilogy. Nothing much is revealed, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. What did you guys think? I'm sure I missed so much. I've only watched it 3 or 4 times now. On every subsequent viewing of the trailer, I caught something new. I didn't realize at the end of the trailer we see a little bit of the Emperor. Who knows in what capacity? It was a little weird. He's on something. Is he in like a hovering chair? I don't know. But welcome, guys. I'm seeing it on the 19th, Alex. Welcome, guys. I'm excited to talk about this for maybe like an hour or so. Yeah, I'm sure I missed a ton of stuff. So let me answer some of these super chats. I appreciate the support this evening. I'm excited to kind of see what I've missed. Because, everybody does the frame-by-frame breakdown, and there's always little things that I probably miss, right? We all miss. Freeberg, thank you so much. Oh, 1 second.
I use the Fandango for every
Oh my god, my daughter's waking up.
And I always get tickets, not just opening night and center seats.
Adrian Avalar, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support, man. Give me 1 sec. All right, here we go. Yeah, C-3PO got me, man. I didn't really hear him when I was watching it live on Monday Night Football, and then I heard him and I was like, what is 3PO talking about? What the hell? But Freeberg, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support, man. I changed my name from Sinker Gamer to Freeberg. Oh, nice, cool. Yeah, I haven't seen Sinker in a long time. Have you been posting as Freeberg for a while? Huh? Maybe I've just missed it. Anyway. But I appreciate that, man. I'm going to call you Sinker, all right? I'm just so used to it. But I hope you're having a good one, man. I hope you're excited. But I appreciate that support this evening, man. Yeah, so I actually recorded a little video about that shot of all the spaceships flying towards the camera, the Falcon dipping into the scene. And it's only like 2.5 minutes. I just hopped on the microphone as soon as I saw that. And hopefully I'll just upload that tonight as just kind of a thing to hold me over. And then in the morning, I'm planning on getting just kind of a breakdown, not a breakdown. I don't do breakdowns. Just kind of a free-flowing conversation, stream of consciousness, what I think about this trailer. But yeah. And Carter Lovejoy, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support this evening, man. I hope you're having a good one. Carter says, will this go the way we think? I don't even know what to think. That's the thing. Like, I don't really know what to think. There's two things that I think we can all assume. The Resistance is now made up of just a bunch of systems, kind of all uniting under one banner, or not necessarily under one banner, but for one cause. That's really the only prediction that I kind of have. It almost seems like, the Emperor says, or I guess we call him the Emperor still, in the trailer, what does he say? Your coming together will be your undoing, or something like that. So maybe he, kind of how Snoke and Kylo, or got Snoke and, or blah, 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 I can't speak tonight. How Snoke got Kylo and Rey to connect. Maybe the Emperor was the ultimate, puppet master in connecting everybody. Who knows? I don't know, man. I hope it doesn't go the way we think. Because I like when things are unpredictable and we're on our toes, right? That's what it's all about for me. Goddamn, we'll see. We'll see. But I appreciate that, Carter. It's good to see you, man. And Caleb Kemp says, I got my tickets. That trailer was so good. I'm not ready for this movie. Yeah, as soon as it was over, I was laying in bed with my wife. We were watching some football. Obviously, we watch Monday Night Football from start to finish every Monday, and just so happens a Star Wars trailer was playing in the middle of it, right? So I the first thought that I had when it was over, I was like, wow, a lot of stuff is going on in that trailer. We got a lot of ships, we got a lot of people, we got a lot of different types of people, we got a lot of locations. It seems like there's going to be a lot of threads going on in this story, and where it lands, I have no idea. But I'm glad you got your tickets. For anybody that's unable to get their tickets right now, or I saw some people posting about Fandango, since The Force Awakens and all the subsequent sequel films, I have not gone through Fandango or any third-party website. I have always just refreshed my local theater's main website, and it's never crashed, it's never hiccuped. And I've always been able to easily buy some tickets. So if you're having an issue with any third-party websites, please do yourself a favor and maybe look at the website for the actual movie theater, and maybe you'll have some better luck. But Caleb, congrats on getting those tickets, man. I hope you're excited. I know you are. I can tell. But I appreciate that, man. And hello, Orko. Good to see you. I greatly appreciate that, man. I hope you're having a good whatever time it is over there. But Mr. Orko says, not going to lie, eyes got a bit moist by the end. Yeah, the thing that got me was 3PO. I don't know if that's kind of an unintentional or a giveaway in terms of a spoiler, or maybe it's a bait and switch. But I can't imagine that they would reveal in a trailer that this is 3PO's end, right? Could be, but I just can't imagine that. That's what got me. I was like, what did he say after my first viewing? I couldn't really hear it. And then I watched it again. I was like, oh shit, really? Everybody's gathered around C3PO. But yeah, we'll see. I'm sure. Yeah, this is gonna be a wild ride. It looks like it's kind of bridging the gap between everything that we've ever seen in Star Wars, and who knows. Who knows? The thing that I'm most excited for still is the dynamic between Rey and Kylo. I think that's one of the more interesting dynamics we've had in Star Wars, and I kind of love that relationship, and I'm excited to see where it goes. I don't know if they'll team up. I don't know if they'll continue to be, forever enemies. Either way, I'm excited to go on the ride, And Freiburg, I want to pronounce it correctly, Sinker. I'm going to say Freeberg. Correct me if I'm wrong. Freeberg says, hope your day is awesome, Greedo. Still love your channel to bits. Thanks for being so awesome. Well, I appreciate the kind words. I'm just some goober with a set of Stormtrooper armor in front of a microphone talking about Star Wars. Anybody can do it. Hop on and talk about your own shit, man. It's fun. But, dude, thank you so much for the kind words. Tuning in all these years. Supporting the channel. tonight, and not only tonight, but all the times you have. So I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much, Freeberg. Adar, are you concerned at all the relationships between the main characters will get lost in all the extra fluff? Yes, I am. That's also an initial thought that I had too. There's a lot going on. And again, we always have to kind of look at teaser trailers and these main trailers with the lens of, all right, they're just giving us some beautiful visuals right now. We're seeing the most epic moments probably in this trailer. There's probably a lot of other stuff going on, obviously. So optimistic for sure, but I completely understand your point, man. There's a lot going on, and we'll just have to see how it all pans out. I certainly hope that's not the case, you know. And Adrian Avalar, it's good to see you, man. I haven't heard that name in a long time. Adrian, I appreciate the hell out of that extremely generous super chat channel support this evening. Adrian says, I wonder if I'm just lucky. I use the Fandango app on my phone for every Star Wars, film, Marvel, etc. And I always get tickets for the whole weekend, not just opening night and center seats. Interesting. Yeah, so Adrian, as I said, and maybe this will, saying this again will help some people out that might be having issues. When I first tried to get tickets for The Force Awakens, when they first went on sale in October of 2015, I tried initially Fandango. And if you guys remember, I don't know if it was a regional thing, but Fandango was crashing left and right, boom, boom, boom. I could not get my tickets. So I decided to go to my local theater's website, and the seats were plentiful, and I was able to get perfect seats. And since then, I've never used Fandango for these major, Star Wars movie ticket events. So maybe you are getting lucky. Maybe it's a regional thing. Maybe where you're at, there's not as much traffic pushing towards Fandango. I don't know how it works. I'm a dummy. So maybe you're lucky in that sense. I really don't know. But yeah, if anybody else is having issues with Fandango or any other third-party websites, you can cut out the middleman and go directly to your local theater's website. But I'm glad to hear you got your tickets, man. And I hope everything's going well for you. And once again, I appreciate the hell out of that support tonight, man. Let me take a quick sip out of the old Nalgene bottle. All right. Sugar Fett. Good to see you as always. Thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. I cried for the second Force Awakens teaser. Got a similar feeling here. This is probably actually to tell you the truth, my least favorite main final trailer for when it comes to the sequel trilogy. I think I liked the Force Awakens final trailer better. I think I liked the Last Jedi final trailer better. I think this is my least favorite, and I don't know why. I think there's just so much going on. I couldn't find like a common thread, and maybe I just need to watch it a little bit more. But it was a lot going on. That's the thing. There's a lot going on, right? But yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I still think The Last Jedi has probably the best final trailer, in my opinion. But it's then I think about The Force Awakens, and there was just so much hype. Star Wars was back after a decade, and that's really hard to beat. That's really hard to beat. But yeah, Sugar, I appreciate that, man. I hope everything's going well for you. And the ADP, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support, man. Poor 3PO, I'm in tears hearing that theme remix. Yeah, music was awesome. Yeah, I don't know what 3PO's deal is gonna be. I'm very curious. What does he say? We see him on the screen right there. He says, I'm looking at my friends for the last time, or something like that. Maybe some kind of memory wipe, or as we know, we've seen an image of him holding a bowcaster, and we've seen him with red eye. So it's possible that, the speculation out there is that combat mode C-3PO, maybe. Yeah, I mean, it's been hinted at. Abrams said that we're going to see 3PO do something that we've never seen him do before. So I guess all the arrows are pointing towards that. And at the same time, I'm like, oh, God, that could be awesome or that could be super goofy, right? and another thing, and something that I think is probable, is that little disc that we saw Zorii Bliss holding in an EW photo a couple weeks ago. It looks like it would fit right in the back of the 3PO's head. And maybe his memories get restored from kind of the prequel era before his mind was wiped, right? So that could be a case too. He's kind of reverting all of his memories, and it's going to be he's going to lose all of his memories from like the time when Bail Organa wiped his mind to now. We'll see. We shall see, man. But I appreciate that. And David Bland, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support as well, David. Upset that Palpatine wasn't... Oh, where did that go? Upset that Palpatine wasn't ahead on a MSE droid. Well, maybe he is. You don't know. You don't know. I'm very glad that we never saw kind of full-fledged Palpatine in the trailer. We see at the very end, I believe it's the last shot, or the second to the last shot, where Palpatine is in some kind of like hover-round, float, I don't know, some kind of floating scooter. Maybe he's elderly and he needs a floating scooter, like a Walmart scooter. Maybe. I'm glad that we didn't see him full-fledged, and I'm very curious because the way Rey's reacting, does she look intimidated? I don't know. She looks more like, what the hell is this thing? You know what I mean? I have no idea. Once again, I'm just extremely glad that, mystery is always, it seems like these teasers, these trailers always serve the mystery. Sure, they show us some big, bang boom moments, some epic moments, some action-packed scenes, but for the most part, the narrative, the story, the thread is usually hidden, which I've always appreciated in this sequel trilogy when it comes to the trailers and stuff like that, But you never know, David. You might get your mouse droid Palpatine wish. We shall see. I appreciate that support, though, man. And Amanda Rosenblatt, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. I greatly appreciate that. So good. Still trying to process it all. May the force be with you. Right back at you. Yeah, that's my initial thought. My very first thought was, it was a simple thought. It was like, wow, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. And you're right. It's a lot to process. It's definitely the biggest, the most grand trailer out of this entire sequel trilogy, right? A lot of moving parts, a lot of factions coming together, it seems. Kind of a ragtag group, even more so than the Resistance and the Rebellion used to be, coming together for a common cause, I suppose. A lot to unpack, a lot to process. And I don't even know what to think, to tell you the truth. I got my fingers crossed. I hope, I can't remember who said it earlier, but he said that he might be worried that some of the main character threads get lost in a lot of the noise. But I don't think that's going to be the case. We shall see. We shall see. But I appreciate that, Amanda. And Lazy Wookie, thank you so much as well. Yeah, man, there's no UK tickets yet. Oh, really? Interesting. Were they supposed to go on sale tonight or whatever time it is over there? That's a bummer. Well, I'm sure if there's no UK tickets yet, they're coming, right? They're coming. Well, what time, when does the movie open? Let's see, The Rise of Skywalker UK release date. So, it is December 19th. Okay, so it's the same day. December 19th, December 20th. Okay, interesting. Let's see, U.S. release. What does it have it listed? It's December 20th, right? Yeah, okay. So you guys get it a day earlier than we do. That's interesting. I don't know the logistics behind that, because I'm seeing it on the 19th too. I don't know how that works. Interesting. 3:30 a.m. in the UK right now. Okay, gotcha. It's 10:30 p.m. here. Yeah, just keep refreshing that page, man. You don't need sleep. I'm just kidding. Get some sleep. Star Wars can wait. Sleep is important. But I appreciate that, man. And I hope it works out for you. Hey, Manikov, good to see you. I greatly appreciate that. All I know is that I will cry during this movie. Yeah, there's a sense of finality. There's a sense of closure, you know. It's going to be hard to not inadvertently or just feel a little bit of emotion, right? This roller coaster of a ride that we've been experiencing since, certainly since I was a child. I don't even have memories before Star Wars. And I'm assuming that's probably the case for a lot of you guys too, you know. Been decades of being a Star Wars fan, and we're gonna have what is being advertised as the final chapter of the Skywalker saga of the episodic films. But I would be very surprised if that was the case forever and ever, right? Like I've said multiple times, let's say 30 years from now, when there's entirely new blood in charge of Star Wars and the franchise and Lucasfilm and Disney even. When there's a whole new cast of background characters, do you think they're going to sit around and say, let's just, no, 30 years ago they said, no, episode 9's it. That's it. No, they're not going to do that. Let's make an episode 10. Guarantee it. But we shall see. And I'm with you, Manikov. I'm sure I'll have those same feelings. Like, there's something about, I did it with the prequels, did it with the sequels, just sitting down in the theater, lights dimming, and the Lucasfilm logo coming on back in the day with the prequels, 20th Century Fox, and then a hush, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and then we get punched in the face with, the fantastic Star Wars music. There's just something about that. That is the rev of the engine. That is kind of the dinner bell, for the meal that we're all about to ingest. So it's pretty exciting for sure, and to have a little bit of maybe temporary closure on episodic films or permanent closure. It's gonna feel weird for sure, but we shall see. MM's Vinyl, thank you so much. My dad and I are big fans. Keep it up. # burn Jar Jar. Nice. That's an old goofy ass video that yeah. That's cool though. That's really cool to hear. MMs, man, I love that kind of stuff. It's been a fun ride, and to know that like you and your pops dig the channel is one of the most just rewarding and cool things that's ever come from this channel. That, like, I've heard father and son duos who watch Hello Greedo. There's been a lot over the years, and I get really neat messages and stuff like that saying that, and it connected people, especially back in the day when we were gearing up for The Force Awakens. And it's just, I don't know, it's just probably the most rewarding thing about doing this channel, something that I never expected when I first started this back in 2011, That's really cool to hear though, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate you sharing that as well. Recently, there were a couple people that met one another out in Germany who have been talking on the Discord for a long time. Have been watching my silly ass videos for years, and they met in Germany for the first time, and they took pictures and stuff. And just to see that like connection come through some silly shit that I've made, it's humbling, and it doesn't make sense, and it's crazy. But yeah, but I appreciate you sharing that, man. And I hope you and your pops are going to go and have fun, watch the movies together. That'll be fun, man. Person, guy. Is that right? Person, guy, person, guy. Well, I appreciate that, man. What do you think the crew is looking for on the Death Star? That's kind of the big question, right? I usually don't go too deep into crazy speculation because, I mean, I for one, I don't like to put thoughts into my own head about what I think is going to happen, even though, you know, I always go into movies hoping all my expectations are kind of turned on their head, and I'm going for a ride with twists and turns, right? What are they looking for, though? I'm thinking maybe some evidence of the past, but chances are it's going to be more epic than that. I also have to keep in mind that this is the final chapter. Everything is going to be turned up. All the dials are going to be turned up to 11. And if they're searching for some like video evidence of Darth Vader throwing Palpatine down the shaft, it's probably going to be more epic than that, right? But that's a really interesting question. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think they're looking for in the Death Star? I think, man, they might just be going... Oh, God, I don't even know. They might be going to confront Kylo. I mean, it could be as simple as that, right? Kylo could be at the Death Star. It's the place they're going to go confront him. Artifacts? Geek Talk says Sith artifacts. Salvage. Yeah, what if Rey is just reverting to being a scavenger again, and she's like, oh, I bet there's some useful metal in that Death Star. Yeah, I bet I can take that to Unkar Plut. Yeah, Plut? Unkar, is that how you say it? Unkar Plut? Can't remember. I bet I can take this metal to Jakku and get some dough. What if that's all it is, man? What if that's all it is? Death Star 3 plans. There you go. Uh-oh. Maybe not metal, but like weapons. Yeah, it could be. Some Death Star technology that might be useful for an assault against the First Order. That's possible. That's possible. I could see that. I could see that. But I appreciate that person guy. That's a tongue twister. Christian Miller, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support, man. Hey, Greedo, not sure if we have covered this topic yet, but what is up with 3PO? You think he is sacrificing himself? It appears that way, right, Christian? And again, like as I said earlier, and I appreciate everybody's patience here. I know I'm long-winded, but I want to make sure I properly answer everybody's questions here. It does appear that way, Christian, right? A little self-sacrifice from 3PO. And at the same time, it's interesting to me that they would reveal something that big in a trailer. Something like that is for me, I would rather see that and be surprised by it in the theater. And that's why, whenever they show stuff like that, I have a tendency to think it's some kind of bait and switch. Maybe the line from 3PO in the trailer might not be exactly what we're thinking in terms of the context that surrounds that scene, but it seems that way, Christian, and that's kind of where my head's at with that entire scene. I don't know. I really don't know. We'll see, man. That would certainly be definitely one of the more a scene like that where we see 3PO, whatever he's doing, he's obviously being reprogrammed or his circuits and gears are being all swapped out. I have no idea. And if that's the end of 3PO, that would certainly be a pretty emotional scene for the audience for sure, right? But yeah. I don't know. I'm guessing if I was a betting man, Christian, I would say yes. I would say yes. 3PO is sacrificing himself. That's my guess. But I appreciate that, man. And Carter Lovejoy, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support, man. It's always good to see you. G&G is crying. What is that? Smiley. That is so small on my screen. I'm trying to look at the emoji. Is that a smiley face? It's really small on my other monitor. I need to increase the size of this. Carter Lovejoy, I appreciate that. I hope is it a good cry? Is it a good cry? Are you being facetious? I hope it's a good cry. I hope it's a, oh, this looks fun. Hey man, this looks like a fun movie. It looks like a fun ride. I hope it's that kind of cry. Oh, I'm excited to see this. Oh, it looks fun. But I appreciate that, Carter. Hope you're having a good evening, man. And Smitty, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. So what do you think is up with 3PO? Ooh, a lot of people are wanting to know about 3PO, me included. So yeah, I'm kind of in agreement with Christian. It's going to be a moment of self-sacrifice. What that entails, I really don't know. Yeah, kind of the running speculation, I suppose, is that there's going to be some kind of combat mode for 3PO, or I really don't know. I have no idea. We have heard from Abrams that, 3PO is going to be doing something that we've never seen him do. We've seen a picture of him with a bowcaster. I don't know, though. I really don't know. My mind goes to, especially surrounding the scene, it looks more, not necessarily ceremonial, but it looks a lot more heavy-hearted than just like 3PO is getting combat upgrade, right, or something like that. It looks like maybe he's just saying goodbye, and he's going to have his memories from the prequel era restored in some form or fashion. Because Bail Organa was a pretty resourceful guy, right? I don't think he would completely delete his mind without saving that SD card. So that's my guess. My guess is that he's having his memories restored. But yeah, the whole 3PO combat thing, whenever I think about it, I envision it being super goofy. I can't help it. Just the idea of 3PO doing some kind of fluid movement or even in combat just sounds really goofy to me. It's all in how it's done, obviously. But I can't picture it in my brain, right? Decades of seeing this bumbling butler, this shining robot, this uncoordinated, clumsy son of a bitch, and all of a sudden we're going to see him like in potential fluid combat. Yeah, it just sounds. I can't envision it. But yeah, man, we shall see, Smitty. All the questions shall be answered soon. I'm pretty excited, man. And Manikoff, once again, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. Also, one more thing, I'm sorry, but horseback riding on Star Destroyer, why is that the coolest thing ever? See, when I first saw that, and I still don't really know how to, I still don't really know how to take it. It looks, and look, Star Wars is full of all sorts of weird creatures and different locations and things that look familiar but don't look familiar. It still looks weird to me, right? It looks like Lord of the Rings meets Star Wars. And, we've had less technological civilizations in Star Wars before, fighting grand civilizations. The Galactic Empire and the Ewoks, probably the biggest example. So I think if it's anything like that, it'll be fun and interesting. But yeah, when I first saw the space horses running on the Star Destroyers, I was like, oh, that looks weird. But Manikoff, we'll see, man. I'm excited to see what's the planet that those folks are from. I think it starts with a P. Somebody will type it in the chat. I can't remember. But I'm very curious. I believe all those people are from this planet that we've seen in the trailers and we've seen photos of. Pasaana, thank you. Or Panasa? Somebody said, I think it's Pasaana, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm very curious what they're going to be all about. The kind of the inhabitants of that world. Because they seem like they're going to play a pretty pivotal role, a large role in the story. And I don't know if that's just my perception. But it does seem like they are one world of many that are going to be called to duty, and that are going to be pulled into this conflict willingly. And maybe in the past 2 years in film time between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, the Resistance seems like they've done a lot of recruiting, you know. Oh, I love this. Paloper, pajamas, penne, paprika, pantera, pancakes, pastrami, pingus, Palpatine, poo-poo pee-pee, pew-pew. Oh, I love this chat. Boopy. Pandora. Yeah, I kind of got that vibe, didn't I? Did, for sure. But I appreciate that, Manikoff. And Ian Vanpool, good to see you, man. Thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. What if by friends he meant Obi-Wan / Anakin? Oh. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, that's interesting. That's an interesting way to take that, Ian. So Ian's talking about C-3PO. What if by friends C-3PO meant Obi-Wan / Anakin? So you think he's currently looking at memories of the past, and when that's swapped out? Oh, that's kind of interesting. I don't think that's going to be the case, but I really like that interpretation of it, Ian. That's cool. That could be a fun bait and switch right there. Oh, that's cool, man. I appreciate you sharing that. Trailers don't indicate the quality of film, it's advertising. Yeah. Of course. But Ian, I appreciate that, man. That's a really cool idea. That would be a nice I mean, that would kind of explain why this is put in the trailer, right? A little bait and switch. Everybody's gearing up for a C-3PO sacrifice, and in reality, he's talking about Obi-Wan and Anakin. He's looking, you know, at programming from the past, memories from the past, and maybe that's going to get swapped out in that moment. I really dig that. And I appreciate your support tonight, Ian. Oh, and Matt Coles, thank you so much, man. I greatly appreciate that as well. Hi, Greedo. Rey holding dagger of Mortis when destroying Vader's helmet. Really like this trailer. Can't believe Palpatine seems to be alive, not a ghost. Yeah, that was very surprising to me as well. We still don't know in what capacity he's there, right? There's something that they're not showing, and I hope it's not just as simple as Palpatine is on a hover round. We shall see. That's what those things are called, right? Hover round, hover round, hover round, hover round, hover round. Yeah, hover round. Okay. There was a commercial back in the day. I'm gonna look that up actually. Commercial. Yeah. You guys remember the hover round commercial? Probably not. Was she holding that? Let me look at the trailer again. Let me mute the trailer on my other monitor. That was a cool scene. And I say scene very loosely because, you know, we've seen a clip, we've seen a moment, we've seen a couple seconds, a split second from a larger scene. Mortis? Okay, I'm watching. Is she holding anything in her other hand? Oh, there seems to. Oh yeah. Oh, interesting. Oh, that's cool. I didn't notice that. See, I told you there's going to be a lot of things that I missed, and I'm sure a lot of people missed. So if you pause the trailer at minute like 151, Rey is holding a dagger of some sort. Interesting. That's exactly what I thought that's exactly what I thought, Vince. No joke. That's interesting. There's gonna be Matt, there's gonna be so many like breakdown videos and frame by frame videos, and if I had that in me, I would do it, but I don't have that in me. And this is no joke, going to be one of the most like screenshotted images for sure. I'm gonna look up the dagger. Let me see what, let's see. Dagger of Mortis. Is that what I mean? It looks very different. But for the sake of film, it could, I mean, it could be. Could be something similar. It could be inspired by that, right? Interesting. I appreciate that you bringing that to our attention, my attention, Matt. I appreciate that, man. And yeah, I was surprised too. Palpatine at the very end of the trailer. And like I said, we still don't know. We still don't know what capacity he's going to be there. We shall see. I'm just very curious, like, what he's been up to. What, has he been living in the Death Star? Rebel? All these years? Eating rats and drinking Stormtrooper pee-pee? For hydration? What you been up to, Palpatine? I do not know. But I want to know. But I appreciate that, Matt. Hope you're having a good evening. Lewis Collins, thank you. Lewis Collin, I apologize. Lewis Collin, thank you so much, man. Love the scale of the new rebellion. A lot of people coming together for the fight. Yeah, definitely. That's the instant. Well, earlier today there was a clip released where, you know, the Falcon is flying in the foreground and there's just a shitload of ships in the background. And even before this trailer, you know, that I got that feeling, this kind of ragtag bunch coming together for a common cause, and hashing it out. That's the, you know, answering the call. It's definitely, when it comes to all the sequels, the sequel trailers that we've seen, this trailer is without a doubt the biggest, the grandest, the most epic in scale and scope. And there's no question in my mind that is going to be the case for the final film too. And yeah, I like the idea of, you know, the rebellion, the resistance. They've always been, I keep using the word ragtag. They've always been that, but this seems a lot more, I don't know, a lot grander, a lot more systems, a lot more societies, a lot more cultures coming together. At least from what we've seen in this trailer, you know. And Lando, I'm sure, is going to bring a bunch of people. There's going to be all sorts of other military leaders and government officials from all sorts of different worlds and systems coming together for the fight. So we shall see. I'm assuming, you know, Leia probably has a lot of pull. People remember Leia's fight. People remembers Leia's cause when she was fighting in the rebellion, when she was a senator in the New Republic. And they're going to probably answer her call. I have a feeling that she's going to kind of, you know, send the message. Let's rally the troops, you know. But we shall see. But I appreciate that, man. And Danny Travis, today would have been Carrie Fisher's birthday. Yeah, I saw that on Twitter earlier today. I didn't, you know, she was so young. I thought about this earlier today. She was so young. It's crazy to think about. And you might say, I believe she was 63, but no, she would have been 63. She would have been 63 today. That's so young. That's insane. That's insane, man. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, that's a bummer. Just a big bummer. She was always like my favorite part of all the media junkets, and her like no shit, no bullshit attitude was so much fun to see, and she was funny. Definitely a big loss, not just for Star Wars, but for just, I don't know, just unique human beings are always will always be missed, and she was unique in the best way possible, you know, in the best way possible. But yeah. Yep. It's a bummer, man. Young. DJ Kento, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support, man. Thoughts on 3PO's line? We talked about a little bit, actually quite a bit. It's kind of surprising to me, DJ, that this is one of the most talked about things in the entire chat. 3PO's line. Ian Vanpool brought up a really interesting point. You might have heard it. Ian said, what if 3PO is actually talking about Obi-Wan and Anakin, and he's currently in like that moment, he's in some kind of memory, I don't know, he's getting all of his memories restored or something like that, and now those memories are going away once again, pulling the plug on those memories, and he's saying goodbye to those memories. I like that. That would be a nice bait and switch, because initially, and I still think it's kind of a self-sacrifice kind of thing, but once again, I do not think that they would put that in the trailer if that was the case. I think it's going to be a bait and switch. You know, we shall see. But yeah, it's interesting. If it is the final moment of 3PO, that is definitely going to be a pretty, a little emotional ride for the audience for sure. But I think there's a little more to the story. If there's anything that we've been able to gauge from any of these sequel trilogy trailers, they don't reveal much. There's a lot of kind of misdirection. And, yeah, we'll see, man. Jai Wilkins, good to see you as always. The way, the way Luke says, "May the Force be with you," and Leia ends it with, with "always makes me moist." Yeah. Yep. And not only that, but also like the look in Rey's eyes. She's like on guard with her lightsaber, but she looks vulnerable. She looks like she's looking at something beautiful almost, right? And then the dialogue, or not the dialogue, but that's definitely ADR or something from another section of the film played on top of it, or maybe ADR recorded just for this trailer where Luke and Leia say that. You know, it's very, very curious what, man. And it's cool to close the trailer out with that kind of stuff too, you know. Family. May the Force be with you always. Characters that started it all. I dig it, man. Like, I can't play the audio right now. I really want to watch the trailer with audio, but you guys would hear it too, and the stream would get chopped down. But, dude, I appreciate that, man. Moist. Jai Wilkins is moist. Tauntaun Jedi, thank you so much for the super chat channel support. Happy birthday, Carrie Fisher. Absolutely. Yeah, I briefly talked about that a few minutes ago. Just crazy, man. She was ridiculously young. Still doesn't make sense to me. Still doesn't make sense. I don't think it. Yeah. But yeah, it's not just a loss for Star Wars. It's a loss for I don't know, individuals. It's a loss for unique human beings in the best way possible. You know, it's yeah, it's definitely sad. Oh shit. Just a Kid That Rants. If you guys heard that Death Star alarm, which you obviously did, it was probably way too loud in your headphones or your speakers. Just a Kid That Rants became the latest fleet member. Dude, thank you so much for joining the fleet once again. I know you were a fleet. I don't know why my membership got undone. That just pisses me off. Yeah, I was like, oh, Just a Kid That Rants. You were a fleet member already. But I appreciate you re-upping, man. Thank you so much for supporting the channel on a monthly basis. I greatly appreciate that. If everybody could do me a favor, even though Just a Kid That Rants was already a fleet member, if everybody in the chat, everybody, all 700 something of you guys, could do me a big favor and say, welcome to the fleet, Just a Kid That Rants, I would greatly appreciate that. Welcome to the fleet. And you probably already know this, but you get a special role in the Hello Greedo Discord server. And you also get to participate in members-only chats and Q&As that I do. And I've started a segment called Questions from the Fleet, where I answer a question every Sunday from you guys. So yeah, stay tuned for those. But welcome to the Fleet, man. I greatly appreciate that. Welcome to the Fleet. And RA's reviews, thank you so much, man. Trailer feels like the conclusion of a series. Love it. Is that what it is? Series? Yeah. There's a lot going on. That was my initial thought, RAs. A lot going on. And the thing that I'm most excited for still is the dynamic between Kylo and Rey. They're kind of the keys to this entire sequel trilogy. But it definitely feels like it's pulling a lot of ideas and things from all previous Star Wars and incorporating it into some just ridiculous, epic, large-scale conclusion. I think just from this trailer, it's going to be the most, like, just balls-to-the-wall Star Wars movie we've had. I have no question about that, you know? But yeah, conclusion, man. And I hope it's satisfying for everyone. Obviously, it's not going to be. You can't please everybody, but I hope everybody at least has some fun, you know. I hope everybody has some fun. But yeah, man, I appreciate that. Hope you enjoyed the trailer. And Caleb Kemp, this movie is going to be epic, sad, and one heck of a conclusion. I'm going to be pumping my fist and crying in that theater. I'm with you, Caleb. Yeah, I want all those emotions, for sure. You know, conclusions. We have a lot of loose ends to tie up. We need to know where our heroes, our villains are going to end up. And it's been a hell of a ride. You know, we've all been Star Wars fans since we had memories, right? And we grew up watching this franchise. We grew up reading this franchise, playing this franchise. And it never ceases to amaze me that, you know, people still find them fun. People are still excited. Ticket sales are just like, yeah, ridiculous. And not that matters. I don't give a shit about that. But I'm a numbers guy. I like looking at metrics and stuff like that, of the past mostly. But yeah, it's gonna be one hell of a conclusion. And I'm crossing my fingers that I'm gonna really dig it. There's certain things, and I've talked about this before. Palpatine, 3PO. There's certain things that could be goofy, right? That I could go as I'm sitting in the theater. I could be like, oh man, that's pretty goofy, you know. But we shall see, man. We shall see. But Caleb, I'm glad you're pumped. Thank you so much, as always, for the channel support. Not only this evening, but the past couple months, man. I hope you're having a good one. We'll play some co-op soon, for sure. Play some co-op soon. I appreciate that. And Vince Wynn, thank you so much as well, man. I'm happy with... Oh, where did that go? There we go. I'm happy with what they showed. I'm late, so you might have talked about this. What do you think that Vader figure actually is, the one they wreck? That is a very interesting question, because my very, very initial thought when I first saw this trailer, Vince, was that they just happened to be battling around that Vader statue, or Vader, that's where the helmet is, right? That's where that's Vader's helmet. And my very, very first initial thought when I saw that moment, that scene, was that they accidentally knocked it over in some kind of epic lightsaber duel. But if you watch the trailer again, they don't look like they're on guard. They don't look like they're really paying attention to one another that much. They're both, even after that kind of, I don't know what to call it, the table with Vader's helmet on it crumbles. They're still looking at the table. They're still looking at the helmet. They're not looking at each other. They don't have their defenses up, and you know, it doesn't. I think my initial thoughts were wrong. So I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe it's just symbolic. Maybe they're smashing something of the past. Maybe they're going after certain relics. and that happens to be one of the relics. I really don't know. You mentioned you're happy with what they showed, and I'm happy with what they didn't show. You know what I mean? That's the same exact side of the coin. But there's these little moments, events, and we're on the same page here, where they show just enough to be intriguing, show just enough to kind of push the buttons of mystery and not feed us too much information. And this was certainly one of those moments. I have no idea what the hell they're smashing his shit for. I don't know. But I have a feeling maybe Kylo and Rey are on some kind of hunt for things. And one of those things, it has something to do with Vader's helmet. I have no idea. I can't stress enough how much I've enjoyed these trailers over the past few years and how well they're done in that respect, you know. But yeah. I have no idea what it is though. Man, I'm going to be making a lot of videos. But I appreciate that, Vince. I hope you're having a good one, man. And to Flexing Jesus, thank you so much. What's up, Greedo? One of my friends believes Star Wars is only Anakin's story. Would you agree or disagree? I disagree personally. I definitely disagree. I mean, there's a lot of stories in Star Wars, right? I guess if you look at the macro, it certainly, you know, with the original trilogy, it wasn't just Anakin's story. Anakin was a bigger, you know, he was a part of a larger story. And I think, you know, definitely the prequels, you could say, are Anakin's story, but you know, Star Wars it's family threads. It's a story about people and not just one person. I know everybody harps on the chosen one prophecy. I get it, but Star Wars, there's a lot of characters, and every character has a story to tell. We have, you know, Luke and Rey, Han, Leia, everybody, and maybe it's because that I grew up with, like, being just solely an original trilogy fan. I've never seen it as Anakin's entire story. I've never seen Star Wars as Anakin's story. Maybe that's, you know, I would assume Lucas would say that that's the way it is. But, you know, everybody, you watch some art, you listen to some art, you read some art. Everybody has their own interpretation of the art, right? So no, I don't really, I don't see it as that. I would disagree. I'm kind of on board with you of Flexing Jesus. Yeah, I definitely disagree. I guess if you, oh man, I don't know. I think that's kind of a narrow view of what Star Wars is, in my opinion. But, I mean, like I said, everybody interprets it, in different ways, you know. But I appreciate that, man. Your friend's not wrong if that's the way he sees it. And you're not wrong if that's the way you see it, you know. Darth Devo Knievel. Wait, is that right? Devo? Darth Devo Knievel. That's what I'm going to say. Dude, Darth Devo Knievel, thank you so much for the super chat. Channel support, longtime fan of your channel. Trailer was awesome. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the channel, well, that too. I'm glad you enjoyed the trailer, man. And thank you so much for the kind words and tuning in all these years. It's been a fun ride. And if you've been around, you know, for all these years, you can see how the channel has ebbed and flowed, and how style and substance kind of changes with age and personality, and we all evolve, and I like where the channel's at now, you know. And I'm sure 8 years from now, when I'm still doing this, I'll be like, oh, I like where the channel is now. 8 years ago, I used to be a goober. But yeah, man, I appreciate the hell out of you tuning in all these years. And yeah, thank you so much for supporting the channel this evening. I'm glad you dug the trailer. And Thywis 18 Racing? Oh, thank you so much for the super chat channel. I'm trying to. I'm shitty at pronouncing names. Looks like a knockoff of Hunger Games. You got those vibes? You got Hunger Game vibes? I didn't get Hunger Game vibes. Interesting. I'm very curious why. What gave you Hunger Game vibes? I have the trailer playing on my other monitor, and I'm thinking Hunger Games, and I just don't. I don't get those vibes. It gives me. I mean, to me, it gives me a little bit of feeling of like Lord of the Rings, and there's aspects of like Avatar, and I think that's just some of the more fantastical stuff. But I don't get Hunger Game vibes. Do you guys? Nothing reminds me of Hunger Games more than the Emperor Palpatine. No, I don't see it. But I'm sure when interesting. Knockoff of Hunger Games. But the thing is, like, we don't really see much. We don't really see the story that's being told in the trailer. We just see snippets and epic moments and stuff like that. I don't really. I don't know. I don't see. I don't see it. What, visually? I'm watching the trailer on my other monitor. I'm trying to figure out where the hell Hunger Games comes into play. I mean, if we knew anything about the story, sure, maybe it would be on par, but we don't. And if we get visuals, I don't really see what's. I mean, like, are they running an obstacle course and trying to be the last survivors? I don't see any. I mean, there's woods at the beginning. I guess there's woods in Hunger Games. I guess Rey is a girl and Katniss is a girl. I don't really see. Definitely Last Airbender. I don't know. I've never seen Last Airbender, so I'm not too sure. Anyway, I'm gonna, dude. Thywis 18 Racing. I'm gonna watch a trailer. I'm sure a couple more times before the movie comes out. And I guess I will think Hunger Games and try to get what you're saying. But at the moment, I don't get those vibes. Interesting. Let's see here. Jai Wilkins, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. 3PO is the Skywalker from the title. You think so, Jai? 3PO is a Skywalker. I guess so, because Darth Vader built C-3PO. So is C-3PO the Rise of Skywalker? Is C-3PO mech? Oh my god, that's the video I need to make, Jai. That's the video that I need to make. I need to make mech 3PO. That's what I need to make. That might be the next video, Jai. What about episode 9 leak? Mech 3PO. That would be fun. I just want to Photoshop that. Missiles, nukes, dozen lightsabers. I'm digging it, Jai. But I appreciate that, man. And Vince Wynn, thank you so much as well. I hope you're having a great evening as always. Vince says, I think it's going to be Palpatine's head in a jar with a little hood on, like in Futurama. No joke. And when you sent the super chat, Vince, I responded to you in the moment. That is no joke. When I saw the trailer, the first thing that I thought of, and obviously it's not going to happen, but as like a silly little visual that I played in my mind, because Rey in that moment, she maybe looks a little intimidated. Let me go back. But more than that, I'm watching that moment right now. she looks a little confused in that moment, does she not? A little confused. And obviously we're working with like half a second here. But it would be hilarious if that was the case. Now I'm looking at my other monitor, and we can see a hood. We can see some kind of contraption that Palpatine is hooked up to. I'm gonna call it the hover round. Hover round. So I don't. Oh yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go with Futurama 2. Somebody photoshopped that. But I appreciate that, Vince. And Troy Yarborough, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support, man. Keep up the great work, HGU. I appreciate that. I appreciate the kind words and the support tonight, Troy. I'm glad you dig it. You know, I always say, I'm just a dude, now a dad, wearing a Stormtrooper helmet, talking about Star Wars. And the fact that, you know, people dig it, blows me away, and it'll never cease to amaze me. I remember when I first started the channel, and I got 100 subscribers, and it was so mind-blowing to me. I made a 100 subscriber video, and it blew me away, and it never ceases to amaze me. It's always incredibly humbling. So I really appreciate those kind words, Troy. And 24 minutes ago, Troy. Jesus, I appreciate everybody's patience, too. Nice, I appreciate that, man. And RC, pretty sure Anakin is narrating the first line. Oh, you thought so? I have to listen to it again after the stream. I thought that was entirely Finn. I could have, well, maybe I'm wrong, but maybe it's the second or third line of that introduction, but I thought it was Finn. I'm going to have to listen to that again. That would be cool. I've said multiple times that I would love, in some form or fashion, a little Anakin, not necessarily a cameo, because I don't want it to be ham-fisted for the sake of, you know, just throwing a character that we're already familiar with in here. But I think it would be kind of interesting to have Hayden Christensen appear in some way. So you never know. But I feel like that would have been like the first thing to just blast all over the internet. I haven't heard that yet. Then again, the trailer just came out. So yeah. That's funny. But I appreciate that, man. I'm gonna listen to it once again. That was all Finn. Yeah, that's what I thought too. Caleb Kemp, happy birthday, Carrie Fisher. No one's ever really gone. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. A lot of people, I guess, late birthday wishes. Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about. Well, I just keep harping on the fact that she was so young, you know. Just insane. Like, my mom got cancer twice, and when she was like in her, when she was actually around 60 years old, and just to think how young she was and how young Carrie Fisher was in the grand scheme of things. You know, young is a relative term for sure, I suppose, for those of you who are older. But yeah, it's certainly sad. I don't think it was definitely not only a loss for Star Wars fandom, but as I've said, for individuals, for unique human beings, and I say unique in the best way possible, you know. But yeah, man, I appreciate that, Caleb. Let's see, where am I? Oh, just a kid that rants. Once again, thank you so much, donating $4.20. I cried at 3PO's line. You know, I love what Ian Van Poel said earlier in the chat. He said, "What if 3PO's line is actually talking about Obi-Wan and Anakin, and he's not actually sacrificing himself?" I love that interpretation. Now, I don't think that's going to be the case, but I like the interpretation because these trailers bait and switch. You know, they don't reveal too much, and the fact that I just can't imagine them revealing that in a trailer, right? Then again, they revealed the whole Palpatine thing in the very first teaser trailer. So I guess anything's on the table now for trailers. I still find that really weird. Like, you want the biggest twist in all of Star Wars? Palpatine's back, right? But you put it in a teaser trailer? I don't know. It's just strange to me. It's kind of, I don't know. It actually kind of bums me out because I would have loved to have been able to just sit in the theater and have this revealed to me without any kind of preconceived idea of how it's going to play out, or that he's even in the film, you know. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I still kind of think it's going to be a little moment of self-sacrifice, potentially. You know, all those old memories from prequel era coming into play, and maybe whatever's happening there is going to, I don't know, kind of change 3PO permanently, revert him back to what he was prior to all the events of the original trilogy. Even, you know, we shall see. And Vanilla Soup, thank you so much, man. Do we know who the lady in the mask is next to Poe in the 3PO scene? Also snagged my tickets already. Nice, man. I'm glad to hear that. I know some people were having issues with some of the third-party websites. I'm pulling up that scene right now. Oh yeah, that's Vanilla Soup. That is Zorii Bliss. A new character played by Carrie Russell. And really, not much is known about her. From what I remember, she was like the leader of a thieves guild of some sort on a planet called Kijimi or Kijimi. I don't know if we've ever heard that pronounced. So yeah, that she's a new character. She apparently Oscar Isaac had some quotes where he talked about Zorii Bliss and Poe. And I guess they have a past, so they know each other. Obviously we don't know what role she plays in all of this, but yeah, her name is Zorii Bliss, and that's really all we know. That's all we know. I didn't even notice her there when I first watched the trailer. Interesting. So I guess she's a part of the main crew, maybe just for this scene. Who knows? They all have the same jackets on.
Thanks for staying up with us, Greedo. Hell of a community you've built with this channel. Aren't you a little badass for a stormtrooper?
Vince, I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Give me 1 second. I'm super behind, Vince. I appreciate that, man. And SSBB is number 1. Thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. I don't know if you meant to type a little message in there or not. If you wanted to be a silent supporter, I appreciate it all the same. Thank you so much once again, man. And Zach L, thank you as well. Have you seen RLM's video or theory? It's outlandish but raises a bunch of interesting theories. Also, happy super early Veterans Day from one vet to another. Well, I appreciate that, man. Cheers. I'll take a sip of my water. I don't have a beer on me right now, but when I have a beer, I'll cheers my monitor. How about that, Zach? What branch were you in? I'm going to keep an eye on the chat. Do some emojis or some shit at the beginning so I know it's you. You don't get lost. Yeah, November 12th, right? It's always funny, like, I don't know. You know how it is. You know how it is. But yeah, man, cheers. Thanks for what you did. And Zach asked me if I saw the RLM theory. I did. It's still my favorite YouTube channel, by the way. Love it through and through. Best of the worst. Plinketto. Everything they do is, I love it. Red Letter Media. I did see it. I didn't. I don't really remember what they said something about time travel or something like that. When they said that, that's one of those ideas that you could see being implemented, And I think they described it as so bad that it's going to be the case, which might be true. And I would definitely roll my eyes at that. And I'd be the first to jump on here and be like, nah, I don't like that. I don't like that. So I'm really hopeful that it's not going to be the case. You never know, though. You never know. The thing is, we've had, I don't know, Worlds Between Worlds, and there's a lot of, I guess, fantastical elements that could be viewed as some kind of time travel thing. I think there is probably going to be some, for a lack of a better term, some trippy shit in this movie, more so than any other Star Wars movie, because for the most part, Star Wars movies are usually pretty grounded. They're not too outlandish. Most of the outlandish and fantastical stuff usually comes from non-film material. But I have a feeling that this movie is going to introduce a lot more, I don't know, like out there concepts. So I'm very curious. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm very curious if that does come into play, how that will be received, But yeah, I appreciate that, man. Let's see. Yeah, and happy early Veterans Day right back at you, man. Is it Army? Nice. There we go. Army. High five, or wave, Army. Nice. I was Navy. Before I went to a Navy recruiter, I went to an Army recruiter. I wanted to be I was specifically looking for like something in aviation. And the only thing the recruiter wanted to give me was 11 Bravo. And I said, nah. And then I went to the Navy recruiter. And I became an airman in the Navy. So I appreciate what you did, man. And cheers. Happy Veterans Day right back at you. And Raybot71, thank you so much. It was 6 years when A New Hope came. Raybot says, I was 6 years when A New Hope came out. This 42-year-old ride has been awesome. I will be crying at the end of this movie. That's cool to hear. You've seen it all. You've seen, I'm assuming, every single Star Wars film in the theater. You saw the ramp up to the Phantom Menace as I did. You saw the reaction to the prequel trilogy. You've seen the ebb and flow of the fandom. You've seen how history has a tendency to repeat itself, right? And more than any of that, you've been around for the fun. So it's gonna be pretty bittersweet for you, I would assume, and all of us, to have kind of now I say coming to an end, but I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Like I've always said, 30 years from now, when there's new blood in at the helm of Star Wars and Lucasfilm and Disney, even, who knows what they're going to want to do, 30 years from now, when somebody acquires all of this, do you think they're really going to be like, they said 30 years ago that this was it, I'm not going to make an episode 10? Nah, I doubt that. But yeah, Ray, it's going to be surreal for sure. And I hope you enjoy the ride. Or the conclusion to the ride. I hope you enjoy the final stop on the old choo-choo train. But I appreciate that, man. I'll be right there with you. And Desmore Quinn Reviews, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. Desmore Quinn has a theory here. 3PO is actually Palpatine. What if... Nah, that's... I know you're being facetious here. Palpatine, or Vader... Okay, I'm trying to think of a legitimate... I guarantee somebody's typed this shit up on Reddit or something like that, but I guarantee somebody's come up with the idea, since we know that Anakin built 3PO. there's some kind of connection there to 3PO being associated with the bad guys. There is no question in my mind that there is fan fiction out there, right? No question about that. No question about that. But Desmore Quinn reviews, I'll find that, and we'll talk about that. But I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you keeping it goofy. It's always fun. 3PO is actually Palpatine. What's going to happen? The Babu Frick is going to put the Palpatine chip in 3PO's head. His eyes are going to turn red. He's going to say, "Do it." And the rest is history. 3PO is going to command the First Order, command the fleet, take over robotic domination. Droids inherit the galaxy. I dig it. Snoke's missing hairpiece. Thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. The trailer looks very blue and gray. It does. It certainly does. That's kind of, well, The Force Awakens had that too. I think that's, well, The Force Awakens, if you look at, what was it? I think I saw screenshots of the Millennium Falcon. Force Awakens compared to The Last Jedi. The Force Awakens Millennium Falcon, there's definitely a tint of blue in there. More so than any of the previous films. But it's kind of interesting. When you actually look at some of the previous versions of the original trilogy, like if you look at the originals, there is no like blue tint. Like there's a little maybe, but for the most part the colors are pretty accurate. When you get to the special editions, there is a blue tint to almost all of that movie. I'm sure there's scene comparisons and stuff like that when it comes to the blue tint and the muted colors and all that stuff. So with The Force Awakens, things were very blue in certain scenes and whatnot. When it comes to The Last Jedi, that was kind of removed. And now it looks like that's back in this film. I don't know why. I guess that maybe that's J.J. Abrams' style. I don't know. There's a lot of movies, especially like big blockbusters, that have this blue hue, this blue tint to them, right? I don't know if that's why. I don't know if there's a reason behind that, but I've noticed that in a lot of movies. I don't know. Has anybody ever talked about that before? I don't know. But yeah, I would attribute it to JJ's style. I would attribute it to Mr. Abrams' style. Star Trek is kind of the same way. His reboots, you know. But yeah. But I appreciate that support, man. An 8 young nasty man 8. These names. Mecha Shiva. Okay. Oh, all right. I think the universe, the chats are telling me that I need to get on making more mech videos, not just Mecha Luke, but Mecha Sheev, Mecha 3PO. Dude, it's funny. I mean, like, all joking aside, it's funny as shit that people took that video as some kind. Oh man, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it's a stupid video where Luke Skywalker is in fucking toy mech armor, and people thought it was like a slight to people who had a problem with movies. I sat back and I was like, how do you interpret this shit? It's a dumbass video where Luke Skywalker is wearing giant toy soldier armor, firing missiles, and there's Michael Jackson Force Ghost and Tom Cruise Force Ghost in the background. Like, what? Well, everybody has to have an enemy, I suppose. Gotta love it. More mech stuff coming soon, I suppose. Let's do that. Let's do it. Duval indeed, Jacob. Go Jags. And Vince Wynn, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. Thanks for staying up with us, Greedo. Hell of a community you've built with this channel. Aren't you a little badass for a stormtrooper? Nope. No. I'm a better shot, that's for sure. But I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, it's way past my bedtime. It's 11:34 p.m. I'm usually asleep by 10. I set my alarm for 4:30 every morning, and I don't think I'll set my alarm today for tomorrow morning. But yeah, it's fun. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else talking about Star Wars. I would just, if I wasn't here talking with you guys, I'd be scrolling, playing Thumb War on my Twitter phone, in bed, reading what everybody's talking about, when it comes to the new trailer. But yeah, man, it's definitely a cool community for sure. It's, there's all sorts of different. I've always harped on the idea that Star Wars is different for everybody, right? Some people's favorite Star Wars is the Clone Wars. Some people's favorite Star Wars is the video games or the prequels or the books. Everybody's Star Wars is different. My favorite Star Wars is the original trilogy. When I think of Star Wars, I think of OT. I think of the dirt and grime of the cantina. I think of bounty hunters, that kind of stuff. But Star Wars is such a vast franchise, and everybody's Star Wars is so different. And that idea, I think, is something that I hope I've tried to pass on. There's always shitheads, but and one of the coolest things about this entire experience, Vince, has been, I started the channel 8 years ago. Back in the day, I was very angry video game nerd. That was my biggest inspiration. I used to watch his videos. I still love his shit, by the way. But I used to watch his videos and be like, oh man, I love this. I want to do that too. So whatever. Back in the day, 8 years ago. But as the channel has evolved, early on, it was very hard to find prequel defenders. But over the past 8 years, those people, I guess maybe I would attribute it to maybe a younger generation growing up and having a voice on the internet now. That generation growing up and defending what they love, whether it be the prequels or the Clone Wars, and see that side of the fandom kind of say, hey guys, I like this stuff, has been really cool. It's been really cool. And there's no question in my mind that's going to happen with this sequel trilogy. So, this, if there's one truism that runs through this fandom, I think it's the generational aspect to it. My generation bitched and moaned at the prequels. The prequel generation might be bitching and moaning at the sequel trilogy. The sequel trilogy will bitch and moan at the next generation. The next generation will bitch and moan at the following generation. That's forever and ever until we're all dead. That's interesting, man. But I appreciate that, Vince. And Jai Wilkins, once again, have you seen that new Fallen Order gameplay? Where is it? There we go. Oh, Jai, sorry about that. I was scrolling up through Streamlabs, making sure I didn't miss anything. Have you seen that new Fallen Order gameplay? I've seen a little bit. Just a little bit. I when it comes to, well, specifically Fallen Order, I don't really have a desire to see everything before I play the game. I watched a few, YouTubers that I follow that I knew were out there playing it, capturing footage. I watched IGN's, I can't remember what it was, but it was kind of like a first thoughts of Jedi Fallen Order video. And so that's all I've seen. I haven't seen too much intentionally, because I kind of want to go into this game not knowing that much. I kind of want to go in, especially when it comes to the story, but also, I want to be surprised with the locations. I want to be surprised with combat and enemies and stuff like that. So I've been pretty, I guess, maybe looking at it in the periphery, but not necessarily trying to digest every single thing, which is rare for me. Usually when a new game's coming out, I try to just, I feel like a kid looking through my old Nintendo Power magazines, wanting to digest every single thing before I play the game. But that's definitely not the case with this, because I want to experience it for myself, without having too much knowledge of what's happening, But I appreciate that, Jai. And Matthew Kelly, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. Do top 5 reasons why Mara Jade shouldn't be in episode 9. Some people would make a response video to that and say top 5 reasons why she should be in episode 9. No, I have no preference. If she's in episode 9, cool, as long as it makes sense. No, absolutely, she's not going to be. But Matthew, I haven't done like a top 5, 10 video in a very long time. I usually let me look that up. I know I've made a few, and I've probably made top 5 Yoda lessons. Was that the last one? April of this year. Top 10 favorite moments in Star Wars, lightsaber fights. Okay, I did make a top 5 lightsaber fights. Okay. Yeah, top 5 lightsaber fights. Oh my god, top 5 Star Wars games, April 24th, 2012. So it looks like I've done 1, 2, 3, 4 top videos in the past 8 years, like top 5, top 10 videos. Maybe one day. But I don't think it's going to be that. I don't think that's going to be the top 5. But Matthew, I appreciate the hell out of that super chat and channel support this evening, man. You should also add George Lucas hates Mara Jade in top 5 video as well. But Matthew, I thought he created Mara Jade. Seems as though people don't know their production history. Desmore Quinn reviews. Thank you so much, man. Imagine 3PO is saying goodbye to his friends because his life is just a whole simulation, and he is going back to reality. Imagine that, and go Jag. Go Jags indeed, man. Go Jags defense. I don't know what our offense. I mean, yeah, this is a whole nother conversation. But go Jags indeed. So 3PO. Oh, okay. It's kind of the opposite of what people think when they think of us living in a simulation. Maybe I'm thinking too deep into this, Desmore Quinn. But so 3PO's reality is a virtual reality. That is his reality. And he's dipping his toe into the actual reality, or what we think is the actual reality. And when we think of kind of a simulation, we assume that the reality is elsewhere, and this is the simulation. So, does that make sense? So 3PO is living in the simulation. That is his reality. And he's coming in to say hi to our reality. And both of our realities are equal. Because if you can't tell what's real and what's not, what the hell, why does it matter? I'm way overthinking your statement there. That's funny, man. You're in a simulation inside a simulation inside a simulation. I love it. The simulation theory is actually kind of fun. And I'm not saying anything new here. But the idea is that in the future, humanity will be able, there's no question about it. In my mind, you extrapolate technology. Eventually, humanity is going to be able to create a reality that is indistinguishable in every form and fashion from this reality. Going to be able to create a simulation so lifelike you can't tell. And if that simulation can create simulations, and so on and so on and so on, and eventually there's 1 million simulations or an infinite number of simulations, then the odds of you living in the reality is just astronomically low in terms of how many simulations could actually be ticking, Anyway. But yeah, go Jags, Desmore Quinn. And Brickhouse917, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support as well. Favorite Star Wars channel on YouTube. Keep it all coming, man. Well, I appreciate that, Brick. I appreciate the kind words. I appreciate you tuning in. I definitely would not agree with that this is the best Star Wars channel on YouTube. There are people who are way more knowledgeable, about the franchise. My wheelhouse seems to be like production history. you know, I make a lot of videos about production history or Star Wars history from outside of the films, right? Stuff that's not topical at all. That's what's funny to me. Like, I'm probably one of the least topical YouTubers, especially when it comes to Star Wars. Because I make videos like, what critics thought of A New Hope in 1977? Hey, check this Return of the Jedi teaser trailer out. Luke Skywalker's lightsaber was blue. Like, it's funny to me sometimes the videos that I make and I sit back and I'm like, nobody gives a shit about this, but I do. So I'm going to keep making it. So I appreciate that, man. I appreciate the kind words. I appreciate the channel support this evening. I hope you enjoyed the trailer. I plan on watching a few more times. And Chris Moranic? I'm a dummy and I butcher names all the time, but Chris, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support this evening. I'm gaining an appreciation, blah, blah, blah. I can't speak. Let me take a quick sip of water. Chris says, I'm gaining an appreciation for the prequel's corniest jokes. My wife loves them, and it keeps her entertained and connected to the movies. Where I used to cringe, we're having a bonding moment. That's interesting. Dude, I'm so excited to show... Well, my daughter's only 18 months right now, but, you know, when she's old enough to watch the films with me, and I have no idea when I first watched them. I was probably like 2 years old. I have no idea. So I'm super excited to see how she reacts to a lot of the things that maybe I rolled my eyes at in the past. Because I think being a dad has certainly changed kind of my outlook on a lot of things, you know. That's beside the point, though. But that's cool that you have that experience. I'm trying to think of some cornier jokes. It's been a long time. I haven't watched the prequels since leading into The Force Awakens. Before The Force Awakens, when I did an entire saga rewatch. And I'm having a hard time remembering those. But that's really cool that you guys have that experience. Maybe she wasn't the biggest fan before the prequels, and those have kind of you see her appreciation of the things that she likes, and in that you gain enjoyment from her enjoyment, right? I think that's kind of that's what I've talked about that before, Chris. But the generational thing, seeing people's enjoyment of different factions of maybe factions isn't the correct word, but different aspects of Star Wars being their favorite Star Wars, and kind of getting excited for their excitement, right? Like with the Clone Wars. I'm still watching the Clone Wars. I have like maybe 20 episodes left until I'm done. And as much as I am excited for Season 7, my excitement is nowhere near the excitement that a lot of you guys are feeling. But everybody's excitement feeds my excitement for it. Does that make sense? Like, I see everybody talking about the Clone Wars, getting pumped for it, and I'm like, all right. I'm like, I don't know. I like that. I like that aspect of Star Wars, how everybody's thing is different. And, you know, everybody feeds off of one another. It's fun. It's fun. But I'm glad you had that experience, man. Little bonding with something you used to cringe at. Now you kind of see it for what it is and go, all right. All right. I dig it, man. I appreciate you sharing that with us. Oh, where did that go? Super corny. Oh, there we go. Nice. What's going on? Caleb Kemp, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support, man. Should have said this earlier, but can't think of a better way to celebrate the trailer than at HG live stream. Agreed that you're the best too. No, wait, nope. Shouldn't have even read that line. I appreciate that though, man. Yeah, I can't think of a better way to talk about the trailer, dude. I instantly knew as soon as I hopped on here that people would be showing me things in the trailer that I completely missed, and that has certainly been the case. Like Rey and Kylo busting up that Vader statue, whatever, with Rey holding a dagger. I don't think I would have spotted that without somebody because I'm not much of a like a pause look. I don't really have a keen eye for that kind of stuff, but like that's cool. That pointing shit out to me. So I can't think of a better way to even maybe get a broader look at the trailer through other people's eyes. That's what's fun about this, you know. And I can't think of a better way to kind of experience such a huge. Yeah, we're all watching a trailer together. It only happened a couple hours ago, and now we're shooting the shit about it. It's fun. But Caleb, I appreciate that, man. I'm glad you're hanging out with us. I'm gonna hop off in like 10 minutes. Set my alarm for 5. Get up, and start making a couple videos. But I appreciate that, man. And 8 Young Nasty Man 8, I love your randomly specific videos because nobody else talks about that stuff. It's super fascinating. I'm glad you dig them, man. That's like those kind of things. I've always really liked the history of the making of Star Wars and, you know, behind the scenes stuff and well, as you put it, randomly specific videos. I like researching. You guys know that. I like researching different random shit that's happened in Star Wars, both internally in the films and externally from the films. Those are some of my favorite things to make. You know, I could make a dozen of these Rise of Skywalker videos, looking at every single frame. And while that is cool, I don't have that in me. I would rather talk about I don't know, the Starlog magazine issue of the Star Wars holiday special, the preview for the holiday special that popped up in Starlog magazine. And there was a Starlog magazine that talked about the holiday special after it already came out, and it kind of praised it. It was kind of fun. I actually have a video coming out on that, so probably closer to the holiday special release date, life day. But yeah, I love making those kind of videos too. Because I know people don't give a shit about it. B, I give a shit about it. And I like doing research. It's fun, you know. I'm glad you dig it, man. I'm glad you dig it. First Galactic Empire. You should go to the movie and cosplay like 05. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, First Galactic Empire. He's saying I should go to the movie like in 05. That would be fun. So in 05, for those of you who don't know, you probably don't, I dressed up as Greedo. My buddy dressed up as Han for the midnight premiere of Revenge of the Sith. It's still my favorite movie-going experience. You know, just such a huge... It was so much fun you know, Star Wars at midnight, an early showing of Star Wars is nothing like it, man. Like, and I almost miss the midnight showing being the first. Back in the day, there was no 6 p.m. showing. The movie comes out on December 20th, but I'm seeing it at 6 p.m. on December 19th. That didn't exist. The movie gets released on December 20th. You sit your ass down in the theater at midnight because that's when December 20th happens. And that's what we did. I kind of miss that. I kind of miss that like super late night. Everybody's just tingling, you know. But I don't think I'm going to do that First Galactic. That Greedo mask is very uncomfortable. I was sweating my ass off. I think there's a picture. If you guys go to hellogreedo.com, I believe, let me see, the About page. Oh, no, it's not there. Never mind. Oh, yeah, it is there. If you go to hellogreedo.com and click on the About page, you will see a picture of me and my buddy throwing up the shocker because it was 2005 at the Revenge of the Sith midnight premiere. So, kind of cool. But I appreciate that, man. And Mega Nerd X, thank you so much as well. Since the special edition in 97, I have yet to miss a first showing as they came out and just got my tickets tonight for the first showing of 9. Can't wait. I'm right there with you, man. I've seen, I've seen every... I saw, well, I believe the only special edition movie that I saw in the theater was A New Hope. I vividly remember seeing that in the theater. But I don't, and maybe I did, but I don't remember seeing Empire or Return of the Jedi in the theater. Which I probably didn't then. But yeah, it's exciting. Like, it's Mega Nerd. I've always said that seeing the first showing of a Star Wars movie from, you know, with my experience with the prequels all the way through the sequel trilogy, there's nothing like it. It's not, you're not just going to sit down and watch a movie. You're going to, you know, experience something. It's more of an experience than just going to see a film, you know. And it becomes a tradition, right? You've had a tradition, and the tradition continues. And it's super fun. It's super fun. There's nothing like it. For sure. Nothing like it. But I appreciate that, Mega. I hope you're pumped. I got my tickets as well. Those of you who are struggling to get your tickets still, I'm assuming all the websites are okay now. I know Fandango was kind of fucking up for a bit there, like it usually does with these giant ticket sales. If you're still having issues, go to your local theater's website, and I'm sure it'll be fine, you know. But let me take a quick swig. But I appreciate that, Mega. All right, Matthew, Brian, and Caleb. And then I'm going to hop off here. Get some sleep, work on some videos in the morning. Matthew Fernandez, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. The sequel trilogy has been a hit or miss for Star Wars and the fan base. I know this is wishful thinking, but I hope eventually things will mend. Oh, yeah, there's no question about it. It absolutely will, Matthew. That's kind of, you know, for those of us who kind of lived through and saw the fan base during the prequels, you know, going to comic book shops, hearing all the conversations, being active on forums, you know, this divide has been there before, and this isn't the last time. So, you know, it's just the ebb and flow. It's just louder now. So, yeah, you know, it's been hit or miss for me too. The sequel trilogy, not only that, but the anthology films. I haven't liked the anthology films. Rogue One, take it or leave it. It really doesn't do anything for me. Solo, I've seen it maybe 4 times, and I've actually liked it more and more with each viewing. And I've always said that The Last Jedi has some of my favorite scenes in all of Star Wars and some of my least favorite scenes in all of Star Wars, you know? So it's been hit or miss for me as well. And that's no different than other films in the saga, you know? Hit or miss, but yeah. But yeah, it all mends. No worries. No worries. But I appreciate that, Matt. And, yeah, I hope people dig this one. We shall see. And Brian Saladino, thank you so much for the silent support there, man. I don't know if you meant to type a little message in there or not. If you did, I don't see it in the chat. But if you didn't and you wanted to be a silent supporter, I appreciate it all the same, man. I hope you're pumped. And I hope you're having a good evening or morning or afternoon, wherever the hell you are on planet Earth. And once again, thank you so much for supporting the channel this evening. It's almost October 22nd. Caleb Kemp, once again, thank you so much for the super chat channel support. There's a battle droid in the background of One Shot. I'll link it in the chat. Won't allow it in the super chat. I don't know if it'll allow. Where is it, Caleb? I don't think it'll allow it in the chat at all. Caleb, tweet that to me. Tweet that to me. I'm very curious. Or where is that? Is it... Okay, is it where C-3PO... I'm looking... Because that's the only scene that I think had, like, junk in the background. Oh, yeah, I see it. Oh, yeah, I see it. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Right behind 3PO. Right over to the right of 3PO when he's saying, like, he's looking at his friends for the last time or something like that. Interesting. That's cool. I bet there's a lot of things like that. Dude, there's going to be so many YouTube videos saying, what you missed in the Star Wars trailer. And that's going to be one of them, no question about it. No question about it. That's cool. I appreciate that you're bringing that to my attention, Caleb. Yeah, if you guys want to look at it, it's right when C-3PO says that he's looking at his friends for the last time or something like that. And right over his left shoulder, there's a little bow droid. That's cool. Huh. Interesting. And the Wolfman, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. Coming in with the final super chat and channel support of the stream right before I jump off. It's midnight, going to bed. Wolfman says, haha, I forgot about the trailer. We're stuck in an election night up north. Yeah, I don't really, Canadian politics, I'm not too familiar with. But I saw, who did I see? Oh, I saw Eckert's Ladder posting about it. He's from Canada. So yeah, well, I guess you're worrying about more important things, right? There you go. Yeah, blame it on importance. Blame it on priorities, and I think your priorities are correct there, Wolfman. So yeah, you did the right thing. You're paying attention to the right thing. Yeah, make that vote count. But Wolfman, I appreciate that. I hope you're having a good one. And I appreciate the support not only tonight, but this entire month, man. Thank you so much. I hope I hope you watched the trailer by now. And I hope you enjoyed it. Definitely a lot going on. Huge in scale and scope. No idea what the hell's going on. And I like it that way. But yeah. All right, guys. I got to get going. It is 12:02 a.m. And I'm going to hop off here. Set my alarm probably for 5. Start hashing out a script. But, all right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you really, I hope you enjoyed the trailer. If it didn't do anything for you, it is a trailer. And I hope you enjoy the final film. The trailer is definitely, I mean, I've talked about it for 2 hours now, but it's definitely a lot going on. And it looks, in terms of like just scale and scope, the biggest scale and scope that we've seen in Star Wars. I mean, there's just, looks like so many factions, so much going on. I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I can't stress enough how much I've really liked all of these sequel trilogy trailers. Showing just enough to not show anything at all, But, alright, guys. I appreciate everybody hanging out with me for a little bit tonight. And tomorrow, I'm hoping to get a couple videos out. My buddy's texting me. I think he's out in Utah. I think they're doing a road trip like me and my wife did. He said, I'm skipping this trailer. I'm going in cold. This is the buddy, if you've heard me talk about my buddy before, who has way more self-control than me. He barely watches any trailers for any movies he's interested in. So he goes in completely blind. I admire that. I don't have that level of self-control. And I don't know if I want to have that level of self-control, but yeah, man. All right, guys. Enjoy your night, your morning, your afternoon, wherever the hell you are on planet Earth. And I will catch you all on the flip side. Let's end this thing with a fun song. Want to? Let's end it with a fun, upbeat, fun song. All right, guys. Enjoy your night. See ya.